this is going to be an interesting one. And probably for some of the people who have recently connected with me on LinkedIn, they're going to be a bit embarrassed. But it doesn't matter, because this is all a loving, kind experience. So if you reach out to new clients on LinkedIn, I'm going to show you how to do it the right way and how absolutely not to do it. So right here, I'm sharing my screen. You can see an example of someone who reached out to me who essentially wanted some help, right? And we're going to be going through in this video why this is a terrible outreach message, and why if she was to reach out to, you know, new clients to buy the different products she's trying to, you know, essentially export, she'll probably fail. So you can see here, hey, I'm going to blur out her name, of course, for confidentiality reasons. I just start my export business. I'm also a student of, and I'm going to blur that name out because I think it was a referral. Could you please help me out in my export business, like grow? It's not even in proper English. And then it's like, please, please, please help me. And then, of course, I don't respond. And she's like, hi, right? There's a lot of things that are wrong with this message, but I think the key thing here is if you can't speak English, which is totally okay, it's totally okay. There is things that you can use where you can actually translate it. There's a thing called Google Translate. Better yet, there's ChatGPT, which is absolutely free. So if you're reaching out to a new customer in another country and perhaps you want to make it easier for them, you can actually just translate your message that, you know, you speak in, you know, the language that you speak in, into the language that they actually understand. There's no need to speak in broken English or a broken language and make yourself look like a fool. There is absolutely no need. It looks unprofessional, and they're most likely not going to take you seriously, just like how I don't take this person seriously who messaged me. The second thing is, please, 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 please help me, never comes off really that good. Now, it's very, very unlikely that you send out messages just like this, but you never want to have a frame where you're chasing the buyer, because what does this make you look like? Well, it makes you look like you have lower status than the person you're working with. And because you have lower status than the person that you're, you know, trying to essentially sell to, they think you're essentially just another salesperson, and then they just end up ghosting you. Instead, you want them to respect you so that where they can open up to you about all the problems they've had with, you know, other suppliers and such, and that, you know, they're going to be a counterparty that really respects doing business with you. They'll talk to you on time. They won't, you know, randomly ghost you. If you look like a loser compared to them, it's very easy for them to just think, well, this person's a loser, I don't want to respond. Okay, let's do another example. So here's another person. I think they're trying to sell some sort of recruiting thing. I don't really know, but you kind of see what I mean. I mean, look how long this message is. I mean, it's longer than bloody Harry Potter book, you know? It's I don't even read like bedtime stories to my little sister this long. You know what I mean? So what can we gain from this? Well, first of all, hello, Yash. I can't pronounce that name. First of all, there's no need to say and introduce who you are. That is a complete waste of the first part of the message. You've already lost me, right? Whenever you say, hey, my name is Yash Balaram from, you know, your company, they don't care. They don't care. You sound like every other person. And already they know your name. So it's quite obvious that you don't know how to use LinkedIn. Like, I could already see this person's name already. And I already know what company she works with because it comes up when, you know, LinkedIn, the notification thing comes up. You don't need to do this, okay? So that's the second thing. The other thing is, don't make it really long. Just make it really, really short and simple. This is too much, and it looks like it's just copy and paste, and it's very easy for me just to, you know, ignore this person. In the age of technology, technology can actually work against you, right? And in this example, this person is quite obviously just copying and pasting and just connecting with anybody under the sun who she thinks she can sell to. And when that happens, nobody feels special. Nobody feels like they're going to respond because they just think it's some spam. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to actually get international buyers using LinkedIn as an exporter or a manufacturer. And the first thing that you need to do is, before you even think about it, you know, reaching out, is to make sure your profile actually looks okay, right? I get too many outreach messages from people that don't even have a LinkedIn profile picture. Make sure you have a professional picture that makes you look a little handsome. Maybe this makes me look a little bit better than what I am, this ugly mug that I have. But if you have a professional picture, people will take you seriously. If you're at the beach or you're topless, don't have pictures like that. It's not professional. The second thing is your LinkedIn banner. You know, just go to Fiverr, fiverr.com, or, you know, make it yourself using canva.com. Create a very professional headline that basically talks about your business. What do you do? So say you supply oranges and you're based in, I don't know, Greece as an example, or say you're a supplier of strawberries from Egypt, right? Put the name of your company on the banner and just explain what you do. Helping supermarkets find new sources of fruit. That doesn't sound that good, but think about what the ideal promise that you do and put that in the headline, and try and put that in the headline and all over your LinkedIn profile. So put that in, you know, the cover picture, try and put that in the headline. So I say my title, which is co-founder of Vooges.com. That's what we do. And then on top of that, I explain what I do. So we help import and export companies and manufacturers and logistics companies increase their sales worldwide. So, you know, say you supply, you know, stone or anything like that. Say supplying furniture companies with top of the range marble and stone, right? Something like that. Really simple, to the point. And then on top of that, you want to make sure you have some sort of simple call to action, like visit my website, have a look at my stock, want me to send you, receive a free sample now. That's a really good one. And it just links directly to your WhatsApp, and, you know, they just start messaging you, right? That's something that I would do. And then on top of that, just fill it out. Make sure it actually shows what you've done. And don't lie. Don't lie about what you've done in the past, or if you're a CEO or anything like this. I feel like there's this really weird culture on LinkedIn where everyone makes their job title seem sexier than what it is. If you were someone who's cleaning toilets, embrace it. Because if you're cleaning toilets to now, you know, supplying mushrooms from God knows where, and trying to export it, you've gone up in the world. It's a good thing. Don't be afraid of where you come from. Don't lie, because especially when it comes to international trade, when you lie about little things, think about the person who's going to buy it off you. If they think that you're going to lie on small things, what happens to the big things? Like perhaps running away with 20% of the money for a down payment for a shipment. See what I mean? Don't lie. Put all your achievements on, really fit it out, and show your background, because you might have something in common with the person that you reach out to. And when you reach out to them, you can say, hey, we went to, you know, I used to do this as well, right? The next thing, have interesting posts. Don't be boring. Don't be one of those guys who can't put themselves out there. You don't need to make a video like me and be all over the place. A second thing that you could just do is just make written posts about what you think about your industry. So again, going back to the fact that you're a stone supplier based in Turkey, right? And you supply marble and, you know, sandstone and all these other types of, you know, products. Talk about stone. I know it's really boring perhaps, but, you know, talk about how you've worked with one client, or, you know, talk about the new catalogs you're reaching out to. Everything about, you know, the problem that your business solves, talk about it. You know, if furniture companies are companies that you sell to, or construction companies are companies you sell to, talk about their problems, because your clients probably will resonate with that. And that's good, because you want them to engage in your content, because if they engage with your content, LinkedIn has an algorithm which recommends you to other people that are very similar to them. So that's the other thing. Another thing, just before I go on to the next point, which is make sure that you try and give as much value away for free. Everyone has this very guarded thing that they're not going to talk about their secrets about, you know, how to do X, Y, Z. I literally put together a free course on how to get international buyers as a manufacturing company. You can actually check that out. It'll probably be in the description or somewhere around here. But again, that's one of my posts, if you can see there. I put together a free course on how to get international customers as a manufacturing company. It's a 90-minute free training, and they don't even need to give away their email address. They can just access it. Doing things like this online causes people to trust you more, because you're giving a lot away for free. And People like to reciprocate when you give a lot of things away for free. The third thing, keep it short and simple. When you do go and reach out to people, I mean, this was an outreach message I got the other day. Hi, Yash, thanks for connecting. Hope you've been well. You don't care. You don't care about what I think. Every salesperson or marketing person, you know, they always start a message with, hey, how are you? Like you care about me. You've never met me before. Instead, get to the point. Instead, or just compliment people, right? And then a long-winded paragraph. Instead, when you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, don't even say anything when you connect with people. Just literally just connect with them. So what is the framework? Let me go through the framework. Right. The framework is very simple. Connect with them, and sometimes you don't even have to connect with them with a message. I know there's an option to, you know, send a personalized message, but in some cases, it actually works better just to send nothing. Because if your profile's on point, people just be like, oh, this guy's trying to connect with me. Typically, when you actually add a message in the connection request, it usually makes you come across as really needy and probably someone who's like some sort of agenda trying to sell to them. Instead, just connect with them, right? Because that's what it is. LinkedIn's about networking. So, you know, fit into that. The next thing is, when you do connect with them, 3 days later, send a personalized message. Don't send it straight away. Don't be really needy. Think about it like you're texting a girl, right? Do you text a girl straight away after you get her number? No, because she's going to think you're a creep. It's the same thing here. Don't scare people off that they're like almost like a girl you're trying to text, right? And if you're a female, you probably understand this. You know, you don't text guys straight away when they respond, especially if you first met them. The next thing is, don't follow up on LinkedIn, right? If you've just met them on LinkedIn for the first time and you've sent them a message, you know there's people who send those automated emails over and over again. Hey, just following up here. Hey, just following up. Don't do that. Instead, try and get their email address. Try and get their phone number. If you can get their email address and their phone number, follow up this way. Try and follow up with them over different means. So say you, first of all, send them a LinkedIn message. 3-4 days later, maybe call them. Maybe 3-4 days later, email them. Stagger it, because in this day and age, when I call someone and then I call them again 3 days later, and then I call them again 3 days later, or I message someone 3 days and then I message them again 3 days later, it comes across as desperate, as a psycho. And instead, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to be, you know, very much omnipresent because they're seeing you everywhere, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you don't come across as needy. This is very important. So when you send the outreach message, you know, 3 days after connecting, as an example, it's not a rule, you know, this is my simple framework. Hi, first name, so hi, you know, Jonathan. I see that you used to go to university, you know, Harvard University. That's amazing. Congratulations on that. Something simple, personalized. Hey, I saw that recent post that you made about sugar suppliers and how it's really hard to find sugar supplies in a upmarket because they're selling to whatever, right? Just simple, very short and to the point. The next thing is a low commitment asked. Hey, would you be interested in this? Or, hey, can I send this across to you? Hey, can I send you a free sample? Right? Not, hey, let's jump on a call, let's do X, Y, Z. It's too much, too soon. Try and build a rapport. Try and have a couple messages back and forth before you go and ask for a meeting. The next thing is, leave your name, leave your number. If they're really, really interested, they might just WhatsApp message you. There might be a need of, you know, the coal that you sell, the stone that you sell, whatever you sell, right? It doesn't matter. And sometimes you don't even need to include the ask. You don't even need to say, hey, listen, would you be interested in a free sample? So I'm going to give you an example of an outreach message I did when I was reaching out to someone that I wanted to get onto my YouTube channel to interview. So you've probably seen him. If you haven't, I'm sure the video will come up as recommended. His name's Luis Uribe, a really awesome guy, has an awesome YouTube channel. I really wanted to get Luis onto my YouTube channel. So this is what I sent him. Hey, Luis, I love the videos on your YouTube channel. The cold calling one was especially my favorite. Keep it up. See how there's no way that could come across as some robot is sending this message. I've like genuinely gone through his videos because I genuinely care about this person and I genuinely want to, you know, essentially do something with this person in the future, and I give him a genuine compliment. If you can do that, take a bit of time before you reach out to people. You'll notice that it isn't just a numbers game when it's reaching out to people, but it's also a skill game. And this is skill, essentially, because I've really thought about how I reach out to this person. And lo and behold, we had a really good conversation. We actually spoke very quickly. He started texting me back. I'm not going to talk about what we spoke about because it's obviously confidential information. And it ended up in him actually saying, yeah, that sounds great. Let's have a podcast, you know? Let's have a podcast interview on your YouTube. And also, I'd love to send over customers to you. You can literally see it in the message. A referral partnership could be great. I'm going to spend the couple of next days researching you and your channel, and I'll come back to you with a time to interview you. And that's another great thing. And this is the final thing that I want to say. Content is probably one of the most underrated things that you could do if you're a manufacturing company, because very few people actually do it. And what I mean by content is videos like this. If you can make videos like this or have a very simple podcast, even if it only gets 10 views, if 10 of those people are large importers of the products that you sell, they can slowly build a relationship with you without having to talk to you. And that builds a lot of trust. And that's basically essentially what I was doing here. I was getting him onto my, my YouTube channel. I built a bit of a relationship with him, and now I can always message him and ask him, for any referrals if I wanted to. Not that I need them. We're doing completely fine. But you kind of understand my point. Anyway, now if you enjoyed this video, this is just one piece of the puzzle. If you actually just check just up here, you can see a full 90-minute course that I just talked about earlier on how to find international buyers, all of the different methods, and the best way to get those clients as fast as possible. Check it out, it's just up there, I think.